Happening, everybody? And once again, it's time for At Home with the Crossover. I'm your man, Big T, alongside my tag team partners. We got the first lady, the queen, the doctor. Mama is in the house. TP, what's going on?
Blessings to everyone. Blessings. I hope everybody's having a great summer. Blessings.
Yes. And I just want to say thank you for hosting last week and allowing me to attend my daughter's graduation. Appreciate that, Queen.
Hey, it is no problem at all. No problem at all. That's what tag team members do.
That's right. There you go. I
Yeah,
tagged out
wonderful
and I
job.
stepped out the ring. You did a great job.
Thank
Yeah.
And
you.
then we got the man that brings the Ag swag to the show each and every week. Talking about Aggie P. What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Now, when I say this, Aggie Pride is nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody know what I'm talking about when I say nationwide.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Okay.
track and field,
Yes, sir.
domination. Hey, and then we got the man that's keeping us, in line, making sure the buffer music comes in when it's supposed to, make sure the commercials play and everything, making sure we on track with the time. We talking about one of the biggest Eagle fans I know, none other than Birdman. Bird, what's going on?
Almost lost you today before the show now, didn't I?
That was bad. Technical difficulties, my man. Technical difficulties. Hey, everybody, and together we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And we typically, on our third Tuesday of the show, have Larry join us live to talk about Carolina Hurricanes during the season. Their season just ended, and he had a prior engagement and is not able to make it tonight, but I did get a chance to talk to him and asked him a few things, some of the things that I was going to ask him on the air tonight. So we'll just run through that real quick, and then we'll get on with the hot topics. So basically, I just asked Larry, for those who don't know, our Canes, they won the first round 4-2, dispatched Nashville. Went on to the second round where they ran into the champs, Tampa Bay Lightning, and got smoked. I mean, it was pretty much domination. They got beat 4-1, and Hurricanes at home. So I asked Larry. I said, basically what happened. I mean, kind of break down what happened with the Canes and the Lightning, and he basically said they ran into a red hot goalie. I mean, that was the first thing that came out of his mouth. He was like, "Hey, he ran into a red hot goalie who played great." And last week when we made the picks, everybody picked the Canes to go 2-1 except for Aggie P. He said they were going to lose 2 out of the 3, and he was absolutely on it. And what did you say, Aggie P, when I asked you why'd you go that route?
Because of the goalie. Hey, it was a lot of talk about that guy, man, and no confidence on the Kane side in the interview, Big T.
So you just had a bad feeling, huh?
I had to jump ship. I'm sorry, Larry. I apologize.
Well, hey, you were right on it, man. I mean, you hit it right on the head, and that's exactly how it played out. And Larry talked about how after the game, Rod went up to him, and they caught a video of him standing there with him on the ice, patting him on the chest, pointing at him, and talking to him. And they asked Rod what he said, and he said basically, you're great, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And there was one game where the Canes exploded for 4 goals, and I think they scored all of them like between the late first period and the second period, and it wasn't enough. They lost 6-4, and after that game, Rod said, "Man, you're not gonna get 4 on that guy often." He was like, "We had to win that game," and because they couldn't get it done, that was their downfall. So I asked Larry, I said, "Okay, the national narrative is this." Oh, were you saying something, TP? Oh, okay. You look like you had a
No,
question.
I'm sorry. No, I was listening in.
Okay. I asked him about the national narrative, and Aggie P is a guy that likes big hits, hard hits, likes physicality. I said the national narrative, man, after the series is that the Canes were soft, you know. And I said, how do you see that? And he said that's absolutely right. It's the truth.
Wow.
He said we were the softer team in the series, he said, you know, there's been talk of people calling us the Candy Canes, you know.
Come on, Canes.
So basically, they pretty much got. It sounds like they got their manhood taken by Tampa Bay. And then he talked about Nikita Kucherov, who, you know, there's a whole controversy about how he was on injured reserve all year. They were allowed to bring him back for the playoffs, and they didn't take a salary cap hit. So they have a rule that if you bring somebody back for the playoffs, it doesn't count towards your salary cap. And Dougie Hamilton, defenseman for the Canes, he was quoted as saying, "We lost to a team that was basically $18 million over the salary cap." So there's a lot of bad feelings about that whole situation. And Larry weighed in and said, yeah, that played a part. So, and then the last thing he left me with, well, two things he left me with was that during the offseason, they better keep Hakenbach. You know, one of the guys he gave us as a hockey name of the day a while back. He said they better keep him. He's one of their hard hitters, one of their physical guys. They better keep him. And then he gave me his hockey name of the day. And his hockey name of the day is Las Vegas Golden Knights defenseman. And they're in the playoffs. So he said he wanted to pick somebody from a playoff team. His name is Zach Whitecloud. And he's a Canadian. So when he said that, all I could think about was puffy white clouds in the sky, you know. So there you go. That's his hockey name of the day. So we appreciate Larry, you know, giving us a little bit of insight on what happened to the Canes and what to look forward to going forward. He said they got to keep a lot of the guys they have and keep Rod Brind'Amour, because there's a lot of talk of the expansion team from Seattle, the Kraken, trying to get him. So there we go. Hurricanes at home, but we'll see if they can bounce back and get back into the flow next season.
No, I wonder, Big T.
Yeah.
One time I remember you saying that you was going to get a Canes jersey. Did you ever get one?
I didn't. I've got the t-shirt. I've got a couple of t-shirts. I got the hats. I got 2 hats, but I don't have a jersey. I'm going to get me one.
Yeah, you may need to see if Larry can give you a jersey. That way you can be on the air too. I mean, I know that we all wear our favorite teams and stuff, but you know, other than them playing hockey, I don't see the jerseys here down south compared to up north a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's definitely a northern sport, you know.
Yes, definitely. I think it'll be good because I didn't realize how many people come to the games until recent years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot of people that go to the Canes games, and I think that, you know, especially within the African American community. I know we don't play hockey a lot, but I think it's something that you should try to consider when you think about non-traditional sports. Yeah, because if some of our kids do end up going to school up north, just like I went and got, you know, to school at Temple, it's a great way to get a scholarship, just like lacrosse, something we didn't think about. You know, Jim Brown played lacrosse. We didn't think about that. We thought about football. But just thinking about how lacrosse still involves a lot of running, a lot of motor skills, fine motor skills. That all comes into play of something that can be a different avenue for our kids. And hockey too, you know, you have to be able to turn and stick a certain way, you know.
It's an amazing sport. I mean, when you think about guys out there 6'4", 250 pounds on a blade, a metal blade, skating around on ice, you know, and taking those hits, you know. I mean, it's crazy. Well, hey, I was wrong. We did take up the entire first segment talking Canes, but that's all right. We love the Canes around here. And we're up against a hard break. So when we come back, you'll have more of At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.insurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Be sure to catch this live At Home edition every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that by going to YouTube, looking up the Love and Faith Radio YouTube page. And once you get there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And then you can catch the original audio version of the show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And you can do that on WLJFradio.com online. And then you can also download the WLJF 100.7 Love and Faith app, which is available on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. So be sure to catch both editions, the YouTube live at home version on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. and the audio version on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right, and be sure to tell all your friends about it and like, share, and subscribe to the show as well. Okay, now let's get on with the hot topics. Hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's things that we, the Tunnel Crew, want to talk about. And we launched tonight's show with the NBA playoffs. So we're going to go ahead and get the playoffs in and out of here because there's a lot of good stuff happening, but we got some other stuff we want to talk about as well. Nuggets big man, Jokic, a.k.a. Joker, Nikola Jokic, he won the league MVP, but that wasn't enough to keep him from getting swept on out the playoffs. Chris Paul took the broom and swept him and the boys right on out. And, you know, there's a lot of people saying Chris Paul should have been MVP. That argument was going on before Jokic won the MVP. And basically, you know, it's hard to argue with when you see what Chris Paul did in that 4-game sweep. Listen to these numbers, y'all. 21 points and 11 assists in the first game, 17 points and 15 assists in the second game, 27 points, 8 assists in the third game, 37 points and 7 assists in the last game. That was a season high for him. Dude averaged 25.5 points and 10 assists per game in that 4-game sweep of the league MVP. And then, you know, check it out, 36 years old. Chris Paul is 36, been in the league 16 years. He's a hometown guy. Come on, y'all, give me your thoughts on Chris Paul. CP
Okay, so I had it in me. So I was just going to say, I feel like Chris Paul has some things to prove.
There you go.
You know, he wanted some things to prove. He wanted to prove that, hey, he's getting to be an old head now. You know, also the Players Association for the NBA. So, you know, normally in the past, when you looked at Chris Paul, especially after the stuff happened when he used to be with the Clippers, you used to look at him like, okay, he was, I'm not going to say he was a peacemaker, but he was the one that was supposed to be the voice until all the stuff happened with him. And, oh my gosh, y'all help me out.
Blake
we got into the fight.
Oh,
Ron, this is Ron, what's his name? The one that's
Ron Artest.
Yes, thank you. I was thinking that, but yes. So ever since that, it's like, okay, you know. But Chris Paul he been like, look, we're good, we're this. You know, he got shit with Harden and here. Yep. So my point is that, you know, to me, he had something to prove.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all saw it, but when they went, they showed a little bit of video when he came and said, yeah, we did this.
That's right.
We do this, you know. So it was a motivator. What did y'all think?
Go ahead, Radolph. I mean, I'm just still stuck on old head comment. I like that.
But you know they call them young bucks in
Oh,
the
yeah.
old
Right.
Hey, Vince Carter was there. I
That's
really
right.
believe if COVID
That's
had
true.
not happened, I really believe Vince Carter would have played another year. But it's hard to keep your body up during COVID when you not sure what's gonna happen and
That's
you get
right.
older. I believe Vince Carter had another year or two in him, believe it or not.
Well, I'm glad TP is finally seeing the light from the sun, because remember when he sent LeBron home, that was a message.
Yeah.
He was saying, hey, I'm on a mission. This
Yeah.
ain't a fluke. We going all the way.
Hey, but you know what's awesome? He's like the perfect compliment right now to Devin Booker. And I mean, Devin's my new favorite player. Because first of all, that dude, he looks like a babyface assassin, sort of like Steph Curry. But man, I heard that dude in an interview. I didn't know his voice was that deep. They interviewed him. He's like, yeah, I think we need
Is he imitating Batman?
Yeah. But you know what? He also got that swag, man. He was getting up in guys' face, especially against the Lakers, and talking junk. So it's almost like he's feeding off of Chris Paul, man. And Chris Paul, the amazing thing about what he did, when I showed you those numbers, 25.5 points, I think they said he only hit 8 threes in those 4 games. So he's doing all that scoring from mid-range. They said he killed him with the old man game, you know?
And you remember that game 1 when he hurt his shoulder?
Yeah.
And it looked like he couldn't do nothing with it?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, it's over. It's over. I was like, wait a minute. Let's just wait. And then the next thing you know, LeBron going home.
Yep.
First time ever. Oh, no. This man is on a mission.
Calm down, Birdman. Don't get him. Talking about your Lakers.
Bird, we do want to hear your thoughts on CP3, man. I mean, I know he dispatched your Lakers, but hey, he sent Joker home too with his MVP trophy.
He's sitting on the couch with us, and LeBron and them just talking. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
See this?
Bird, but Bird, this how I feel too. You have to give Chris Paul some respect, and let me tell you why. First of all, he's from North Carolina.
That's right.
He's from North Carolina. He right there by Winston down the road.
Yep.
I have to also give it to him because he definitely has been highlighting these HBCUs.
Yes.
He's definitely been doing some stuff with A&T.
Yes.
Radar can hate all he wants. Radar can hate all he wants. But you have somebody who's in the league who is trying to give back and bring more awareness, wearing the HBCU gear. But at the same time, within the NBA, he's trying to bring some awareness.
Yep.
So, you know, I got to give it to him. And like I said, being an old head, nobody wants to go out by not having that, you know, the trophy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go out and not have it. So to strive for it. And sometimes the reward is saying that we were able to coach this team to beat LeBron.
Yeah. Well, and you know something? Think about this. He's sitting back, you know, at 36 years old, rest is the best thing for him. Every series that's left right now is tied 2-2. So they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Phoenix sitting back, man, they done swept the Joker and the boys on out, and they just sitting back chilling. They just waiting to see who's next, you know.
I didn't see that coming either.
No.
I didn't see it coming.
And T people forgot to point out that he's from Wake Forest. That's all the more reason for Birdman to be happy. I mean, come on, man.
Yes, have him. If it can't be LeBron, have Chris Paul.
That's a nice consolation prize. Yeah, absolutely.
I forgot Birdman likes Wake Forest.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, so speaking of all those 2-2 series, let's talk about how we got there. The Nets, you know, they won game 1, and then they went out in game 2 and destroyed. I mean, absolutely destroyed Milwaukee by 39 points. But Kyrie Irving, you know, he sprained the ankle, and you know, X-rays come back negative, but they said he's not going to play tonight. But he sprained the ankle, and Milwaukee has gone on a tear, won the next 2 games. That series is now tied at 2-2. And I don't know if y'all saw when Durant. You know, you had PJ was talking junk. You know, actually, he did that interview the day before where he was praising KD. He's the best. You can't stop him and all this stuff. And the guys on inside the NBA was killing him for that. You know, man, I would never, even if Jordan was gonna light me up, I wasn't gonna talk about how good he was. And so that next game, he kept getting up in KD's face and, you know, talking trash to him. And then they almost got an altercation. And then all these guys run on the court, and you're thinking this is stadium security. Come to find out, it's KD's personal bodyguards. What?
KD must have went to A&T.
I didn't know that. Nah, we don't need anybody going. That sounds like one of those Central Eagles right now.
Because we don't
get them out of here, dude.
What is up with that? You got your own your personal security running on the court trying to protect you.
Let me tell you, I saw the video and you're right. And I went back and saw it. And all I kept thinking was, why is he the only one that's out there like in the very middle? First of all, you're supposed to let referees do that because, to be honest, if they knew that you did that, they can bar you from the stadium. I think people forget that. Administrative wise, they can bar you from there. They don't care who security guard you are. KD would have to get a new one.
Yeah.
So Adam Silver came back and said, we have made a decision and we have decided that he cannot attend the Milwaukee Bucks series.
Okay.
So y'all saw that.
Wow.
Well, hey, that should be the way, because I mean, that's a chump move, man. You know, you know, you got your own security running out of the court. Don't touch our guy.
That's like me trying to run out there and help Aggie P when he got it covered. Like, come on, little man, move out the way, little dude.
Wow.
Oh man,
I missed that one. Oh man.
Yes.
Hey, and then,
I love Birdman face when you said that. He said.
Hey, and then here's what's funny. So today, Big Baby Glenn Baby Davis is catching heat because he basically said Kyrie injuring his ankle was karma, because he said, you know, remember when Aggie P, you a Celtics fan, so you probably remember this. Remember a couple of weeks ago when he stomped on Lucky, the Celtic logo?
Yeah.
He stomped on it, and Glenn Big Baby Davis said, I'm a Celtic till I die. And he said, that's like, he said, you know, people get offended when you step on or spit on or do something to their country's flag. He said, well, that's how I feel about that logo. He said, so him going over there and stomping on that logo, he said, that's why his ankle got hurt. He said, that was bad karma. You know, he said, when you do bad things happen to you. So he's catching a lot of heat for saying that. A lot of people say, come on, man.
Right. Let them
go there. Don't go there. But hey, moving on to the Clippers, and you know, they were down 2. They like playing like this, y'all. They last series they were down 2-0. This series they started off down 2-0, and the last 2 games they won, including last night where Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both scored 31 points. Marcus Morris added 24 points, and Donovan Mitchell, he had 37, but it wasn't enough going up against the Clippers. And then the Hawks, you know, they behind 25 points from Trae Young, you know, they even their series at 2-2. And you got Embiid, he's got a sore knee and only had limited him to 17 points. And so now that series is tied at 2-2. Of all 3 of these series, all 3 are tied 2-2. Which one is the Tunnel Crew most excited to see? Which one gets your juices flowing the most? You got, like I said, you got the Nets and the Bucks, you've got the Clippers and the Jazz, and you've got the Hawks and the 76ers. Out of those 3 series, which one excites? Because they're all even. So it's a race to the finish now.
Nets and the Bucks. Here's why. Because this man, Radar, has been coming on this show, hyping up this man, Giannis. Antetokounmpo, like he's God. Like he's the new God of the basketball world. Like he gonna get it this year. He's going out. He going home.
So he going home.
He going home.
If I may interject here, since I'm hyping up Giannis, Aggie P can attest. He gave me the now last night I was like,
Yeah.
KD looked, out of his element. Like I said, it was gonna happen. It was just gonna be real interesting in how it played out. Watch Harden try to come out there and put up 30. And Giannis tell him, not today, sir. You go home. Maybe next year. That's all I got to say.
Well, and I agree. I think I like this series because I think when it first started in the playoff, when the season first started, I had mentioned that I want to see where the leadership is going to come from.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the three. I saw them as everybody go to a team where it was already stars, they fit in, and they got a ring, Kyrie, Durant. Where is the true leadership when adversity hits? Yeah. And they are there right now. So, I'm just sitting back watching, but hey, I'm with my man Radar. Yeah. The Greek freak was going on, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That little alley hoop. I was like, look at these boys. Yeah.
He was passing the ball. He became a facilitator, Aggie P.
Yeah. Hey, so let's see if Durant or whoever can step up and rally the troops and carry this thing out to 7 games, or they're about to get swept. I mean,
hey, here's what's interesting. So they said that you remember we told you before the playoffs started, the Nets were the favorites to win the title.
Yeah.
Okay. They reiterated today that the Nets are still the favorites. Okay. But check this out. But they're the underdogs in the series, according to Vegas. How can you still be the favorites to win the championship and the underdogs versus
the favorite underdog?
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Hey, in other NBA news, according to multiple reports, Spurs assistant Becky Hammon and South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley are set to interview for multiple head coaching jobs. The Blazers, the Magic, they're interested. They've got interviews set up. Hey, what do y'all think? Is it possible? Will we have the first female head coach in the history of the NBA?
Yes. Talking Dawn Staley? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because remember, Becky Hammon already coached. She coached when Popovich was out for a game, and she coached, so she made history becoming the first female to actually coach in
I remember that game. It was they played us, I think. I think they played us, Yep.
Listen,
I don't know, Big G.
You don't know?
He doesn't know
I like to see it happen, but you're talking about men with egos here.
That's what I was about to say.
Can the lady? I mean, I'm pulling for him. I am.
Yeah.
But I know the egos of athletes and who she thinks she talking to. I rebound when I want to rebound.
Let me say this though, and I know we got to go to break. If you ever met her and you talked to her, you would know why.
You'll know why.
Gotcha.
Hey, everybody. Make sure you catch this live at home edition of the show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And you can do that on our YouTube channel. Watch all the members of the Tunnel Crew on the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe once you get there, and tell all your friends about it. Then you can catch us on our original day and time, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. for the audio version of the original crossover sports show. And you can listen to that version online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, more hot topics and our question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.insurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and make sure you to catch this live at home version every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. You can do that by going to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Catch all the members of the Tunnel Crew every week, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on that YouTube channel. And once you're there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Then on Thursday nights, catch us on our original day and time for the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. And that's Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And you can catch that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. All right, TP.
Yeah.
Any shout outs, any social media interactions to talk about?
I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people are coming on YouTube and watching us live. So I definitely want to give a shout out to them.
All right.
We want to thank everybody who is listening. Our numbers are continuing to rise. And just give a shout out to everybody who's watching our show on YouTube and on the radio. We just want to thank you and just continue to pray for us. And we appreciate your support.
Yes, thank you for those prayers. We always can use the prayers.
Amen.
All right, just a couple of quick mentions here because I wanted to talk about this with stats. College World Series, congratulations to NC State and Virginia. They have both won their super regional, moved on to Omaha, where they're going to be representing the ACC as part of the 8 teams that made it to Omaha. So the ACC's got 2 out of the 8. So that's not bad there. And hey, the Pac, I don't know if y'all saw this, but number 1 team in the country, number 1 team in the tournament. They were a juggernaut, everybody said, Arkansas. NC State lost to them in the first game of the Super Regional 21-2. 21-2. Then they bounced back the next night, won their game against another team. I can't remember who it was, but then that set up a rematch with Arkansas. I believe it was on Sunday, and they beat them in the rematch 3-2. Hitting a late home run in the 9th inning to seal the deal. That goes to show you anything is possible in sports. I mean, you get the mess beat out of you on Friday, 21-2, number 1 team in the country. Everybody saying they hands down the best team. And then you get a rematch with them and beat them 3-2. Right. Anything can happen in sports. I mean, you know, that's why all you have to do is ask for a chance. You know, if you give me a chance, and that's one of the reasons I think one of the things we're getting ready to talk about, this college football playoff expansion possibly, give some of these little guys a chance, you know, give a team like A&T a chance against somebody like, you know, Tennessee or Texas or whoever's in the playoffs, you know. I don't know if they want Alabama right now, but you know,
we'll take them on.
But like we said, give them a chance, you know. And so that leads us to our question of the day. You know, NCAA expansion is on the horizon. They talked about it last week. So what has happened so far is they've got a committee set up to talk about this, discuss this, and come up with a proposed plan. And they've done that. That committee is now sending that plan over to a group of university presidents, I think, and athletic directors. and they're going to have at their annual meeting in a couple of weeks, they're going to sit down and discuss it and talk about it and decide whether they want to go with it. If they come back and say, yes, we're going to go with this proposal that you've given to us, then they will put it back in that committee's hands, and that committee will go from there as far as getting things set up, getting it lined up, and getting it put into place. So what they're talking about, as everybody knows, we currently have 4 teams in the college football playoff. Top 4 teams, they put them in there. Well, they're saying they want to expand to 12. Wow. And so the arguments have been that's too fast. You know, a lot of people are saying I would rather them go to 6 or 8. But I think by the committee doing this, they're basically saying, look, we're eventually going to get to 12. So why waste time? You know, why go 6 in 2 years from now, and then 5 years from now go 8, and then 5 years from that go 12? Let's go ahead and jump straight to 12, and we're where we want to be. So the question of the day is this, and I'm throwing this out there to the Tunnel Crew. Is the college football playoff expansion good or bad for the game? You know, do you think it's going to be a good thing? You think it's going to be a bad thing? Some people say, it's too fast. You know, going from 4 to 12 is too much. Some people are saying it's perfect. You know, some people have even, I've heard some people arguing, 12 was great because this sets us up to go to 16. You know, so Tunnel Crew, your thoughts?
I say good and bad. Good because it's preparing these athletes that are playing football for the 17-game season of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the flip side of that, you're preparing them for that. That's all well and good. On the flip side, you got to understand these are young athletes that can still, you know, there's the risk of them still being injured. You got to take into consideration how many top players you guys got going into the draft. And if those guys get injured with the expansion of the playoffs, God forbid, you know, you're taking a big risk there. So I would say it was good and bad.
Good point, Birdman.
Yeah.
So Big T, as far as the season, how with 12 teams, how much would that push out a regular playoff season? I mean, how many more weeks we looking at here?
Well, this is okay. So, you know, in the era we're currently in with the 4-team playoff, the maximum amount of games a team can play is, I believe, 15. Okay. Now, most teams won't play that. Most teams are playing or maxed out at around 14. That means if they go, you know, undefeated and then win their conference championship game and all that stuff, and then have to play a playoff game and then get to the national championship and play that game, they end up playing like 14 games. Now, there's rare occasions where a team will have to play 15, but that's where, you know, that's the most teams are playing right now. They're saying with this expansion, teams could play as many as 17 games, which, like Birdman said, is the equivalent of an NFL regular season now. You know, and one of the things they talk about with college football is they don't like the fact that they're getting up to that level where they're playing as many games as pros because they're not pros.
Right.
And so I kind of like Bird's take on it, good and bad.
I do too.
You know, because I can see how there is some good. Of course, this is driven by money. They lost a whole year or almost a whole year. They played a half a season basically because of COVID, and they've got to recoup that money. You know, I mean, we're going to see some crazy stuff happen probably with basketball and everything, trying to make up for the lost revenue of having an entire NCAA tournament canceled. You know, but a lot of this is money driven. So, you know, hey, Radar, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I tend to lean to the side of bad because not lean, but just jump all the way over. It's bad. These guys can barely play, like you said, 14 games without getting hurt.
Yeah.
And think about this: you got the tournament at the end of the year where you got to play your playoffs and conference playoffs. Then you got to play national playoffs. That's almost like adding more fights for a boxer.
Yeah.
You got to give that body time to recover.
Yeah.
Because now you're ruining the product when you put players out there hurt, halfway injured, or just playing just to get their NFL stock up.
Yeah.
And that's when you get desperate. You start getting a lot of bad moves, bad plays, bad outcomes. Because everybody's gonna always say, well, if the season wasn't as long as it is,
yeah,
we would have had a different outcome.
Yeah.
Right.
And I truly believe if they just created a chart for players who have certain stats or they have a certain output, they get a certain amount, a certain stipend.
Yeah.
Because if they share the money, I think it'll be more money to be had.
Yeah.
In terms of players getting out there, receiving scholarships, and just playing that minimum game and just keeping that 4 teams. Because it's not a lot of teams out here people want to see. They want to see these new teams.
Yeah.
But I think with the way the talent is being spread out now,
yeah,
I think it's going to take care of itself. And I don't think they need to do the 12-team expansion.
Well, you know, part of this is coming from, think about it. The last, I think, 4 playoffs, you've had Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama as 3 of the teams, and then some outlier. It's been Notre Dame,
right.
Washington's gotten in there. And so a lot of people are saying part of this is driven by, it's hurting the game by seeing the same teams over and over and over again, you know? And see, college football, college sports period is different from the pros. In the pros, you got to draft, you got to pay guys, you got the salary cap. So your team is constantly changing, and you can be great this year and 3 years from now be terrible. Whereas in college, if you're a football factory, then you can just keep bringing in 5-star recruits every year, and that's going to keep you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like we said, with Clemson and Alabama and Ohio State, you're going to be in there every year, and so you're going to get the same teams all the time. So,
maybe they looking to knock off some of those top teams.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but what's the chances of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. What's up?
Coming in.
Hey,
so he's coming in. There you go.
Orange Man came out of nowhere, boy. He just poof.
Hey.
What's going on?
All right. How you peeps?
All right.
All righty.
So we've been talking about the question today, Orange Man, and that's is the college football playoff expansion good or bad for the sport? You know, because they talk about going from 4 teams to 12 teams. It's not official yet, but this is what they're in the talks. It's in the talks, in the works.
I believe I was listening to something similar to that, but I believe it was the Clemson, where they were showing Clemson's college. I believe it's supposed to be paying the players or something like that.
What?
Giving them they get some kind of incentive from it.
Yeah.
Did you see that this morning on the news? No? Yeah. That's what I thought you was talking about.
Yeah, no. Hey, that's
but you said that, so they actually are gonna have to play more games then.
Yeah, what they're talking about is expanding the playoff. So right now the playoff only has 4 teams. They talking about expanding it to 12 teams.
Wow.
And if it happens, they said it'll be about 3 years before they can implement it, which I've never understood that. It's like
that's almost another season, ain't it?
It's 2 seasons. And I'm like, how is it that hard to implement? All you're doing is adding 8 more teams. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why is it going to take 3 years before we could actually see it happen? But hey, I guess that's how things work in the college football world.
Well, in the football arena, period. Well, where the big money is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I literally look at the wear and tear. You know, I really, really do. I think about what these guys really have to go through and before they can even get to the next level, the pro level. Because I remember even being in high school and some guys getting injured and their dream was just to go and to play in college, and then something happens. So let alone to be in college and then something happens for your chances to get blown for the pros.
Yeah, and I agree.
And I said this a few weeks ago that, I knew that these games and stuff were going to be the people were going to try to multiply in order to get those butts in the seats. And to go back to those 3 Bs I told y'all, I
love the 3B.
Yeah, just to reiterate, the brand,
yep,
beer, and the bag, and that it doesn't matter what sport it is, and I'm going to even say it when it comes to even pee-wee football, it doesn't matter, I mean, it's serious. So now that COVID is, people are starting to come back a little bit more due to COVID. Everything is up. I mean, look at lumber. So everybody wants the pie.
Everybody trying to make they try to make them lost dollars back, right?
Exactly.
Well, and you know what? To piggyback on something you just said, TP, I heard I was listening to one show and I heard somebody present an argument that I thought was a great case. They said, here's the problem I have with it. So you're asking these kids to play more games, like TP said, put more wear and tear on their body.
Yeah.
Some of them going to end up playing as many as 17 games. He said they're playing a pro football schedule. He said, but here's the thing now. They can't do like the college basketball guys and leave after 1 year. See, they got that rule in place that it's got to be 3 years after their high school graduating class. Yeah. So they've got to stay in college for 3 years.
Yeah.
So let's say you're playing at Alabama or Clemson or Ohio State, one of them teams that we know is pretty much going to get to the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
And those players on those teams are going to be getting anywhere from 16 to 17 games worth of wear and tear on their bodies before they even step foot in the pros. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about the injuries and the risk. And all.
That's what I was about to say. Just to mention injuries, major tears, meniscus, ACLs. I mean, which is going to take another year or so to get back right.
Yeah. It's crazy,
Yeah.
I got a question for Aggie P.
Yes, ma'am.
Kind of didn't want to ask, but wanted to ask, and I may have asked you this before, but have you ever gotten hurt in the game? Like, really hurt?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Knee knocked out of place.
Woo!
Yeah. Very, it was painful, but luckily, I don't know what they did. They put it back, and I played the next week.
Whoa!
Played on what I thought was a high ankle sprain.
Right.
After A&T, I was playing a pickup game of basketball, and I turned my ankle, and it swelled up, and I went to the doctor and got X-rays, and he showed me on the X-ray. He said, "Mr. Palmer," he said, "have you ever broke a bone in your ankle?" I was like, "No, never." He said, "Look right here." He said it was broke, and you can see where it's trying to heal. And I thought back, the high ankle sprain.
The high ankle sprain. Yep.
They told me it was a sprain, but I had actually broke a bone in my ankle.
Yep.
Taped it up and still played. And didn't know it until after football season. And I happened to go in for X-rays, and he saw it.
Man, that's a serious taping. That was some serious taping there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, back in the 80s, hey, you get a little cream with Jesus, like I always talk about.
I got you.
You rub it on there.
Right.
Hey, orange man, and you just keep going, man. It just,
bro.
That's what you call a training staff.
Twisting the ankle, I'm bad.
Okay.
Right.
So based on what you said, okay, and knowing that these guys now, like we said, right now they're already playing 14 games. Okay, I mean most of them max out around 14. Knowing what you know, can you see the potential for greater injuries and more, injuries, the increase in injuries, things like that, as a result of now upping it to, possibly 17 games?
Yes. And when you get a lot of injuries, Big T, a lot of people don't know is when you fatigue, your body is tired.
Yeah.
You don't move the same, you do lazy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of injuries come. So you extending these seasons out.
Yeah.
Your body is not recuperating like it needs to be, and you're putting, just like we just talked about, a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's going to be more injuries, man.
So
especially, I feel for the guys that's getting ready to go into the draft.
Wow.
They have a decision to make.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit out, or I'm gonna be a part of the team and help my team win this championship. So,
well,
so I don't know. Like Birdman said, it's some good and bad to this.
It's interesting you said that because we saw a lot of guys sit out last year, you know, and that's becoming a trend. So yeah, it might happen more. Hey, everybody, make sure to catch this live at-home edition of Crossover every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. You can watch us on Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe once you're there. And then on Thursday nights, catch the original audio version on WLJFradio.com or download the WLJF app. It's available on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it's time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry, join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the Crossover Wrap-Up Report. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and a couple of quick mentions right fast before we get into our picks. Le'Veon Bell had to issue an apology on his social media page because he basically ripped Andy Reid and said he retired before playing for him again. And then a lot of Andy Reid's players, both current and former players, came back and said, you know, we don't have any problems with Coach Reid. You know, I mean, they all defended him. So, and then Le'Veon Bell apologized, said, I don't apologize for what I said. I just apologize for putting it on social media. I should have kept it to myself. So, yeah, he stuck his foot in his mouth, basically.
Tampa Bay.
LeBron James is going back to number 6 next year. Like that's gonna help him win a championship. You know, change
6 more.
Get him another ring. All right. And then hey, A&T track. The men finished 3rd, the women finished 4th nationally.
What?
And they're the only school in the nation to have both men and women's finish in the top 4. So congratulations, A&T. Hey, one thing I want to right quick. Somebody said A&T is an up and coming program. Say they're the best historically Black college program in the nation. And
look at Radar.
Dwayne, check it out. Dwayne Ross, the Aggies director of track and field, said that they appreciate the compliment, but it seems like a backhanded compliment at this point because we're not just the best HBCU, one of the best. We're one of the best programs. Period.
Period.
And that's the problem I have is when they said up and coming. We've been here. And I want to say that Miss Sturgis was one of my students. She came during the summer before the fall of when she was supposed to start. So she finished high school and then she came in and I'm one of the first people whose class she took. So she was also one of my students. I expected it. And the thing is, you would think she's very, very tall. And as most people know, I'm 5'6" and she's shorter than me. Yes. So you're talking about somebody who's little. who is definitely dynamic, just like Tariq Cohen radar.
Yeah.
So therefore, great things come in small packages.
There you go. Well, congratulations to A&T's track team, men and women. All right, let's get on with the picks here. We got NBA playoffs, Bucks at Nets tonight at 8:30. So that game's tipping off not long from now. Clippers at Jazz tomorrow night. 76ers at Hawks on Friday night. Like we said, all those series currently tied at 2. So they're going to be interesting series going down stretch. And then
Ray Charles.
This is kind of a fun pick for us because we know we hadn't followed the spring football league too much, but we got the Mega Bowl coming up on Saturday.
I love it.
The Mega Bowl at 3:00 on Fox between the linemen who are 5-1 and the Jousters who are 4-2. The reason we can't tell you what city they're from because the way the spring league is set up, they've got 2 conferences. One conference played in Texas, one conference played in Indianapolis. They don't have city names. It's just when you look them up, it just say the TSL linemen, the TSL Jousters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's our picks for this week. And we'll start with, I'll read stats. I'm going to read the guys who aren't here. Stats, he picked the Bucks, the 76ers, the Jazz, and took the linemen in the Mega Bowl. Let me see here. Bro Mel took the Bucks, the 76ers, the Clippers, and he also took the linemen in the Mega Bowl. Let's go with Birdman. Give us your pick, sir.
Took the Bucks, the Hawks, the Clippers, and the linemen.
All right. Oh, you changed it because I had you as the 76ers. All right. So we're going to change it to the Hawks for Bird. All right. Let's go with TP.
Okay. So I have, I hope I got this right. I got the Bucks, the 76ers, the Clippers, and the linemen.
Yep. Right? That's what I got. That's exactly.
And one more quick thing. I want to shout out to Amari Young. She says, I agree that we shouldn't make that decision for the players because it will produce more injuries for the players and them not being ready for it yet. So I just want to give a shout out.
All right. Hey, I love it when the audience gets involved. Appreciate that. All right, Radar, give us your pick, sir.
First of all, I wanted to tell y'all that Guru told me to tell y'all that y'all don't know what y'all talking about. He sent me a text. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And he said he'll clarify later. Just so y'all know. I'll let him clarify. Just so y'all know. So anyway, my picks were, of course, the Bucks and the Jazz, the Hawks, and the Jousters.
What?
Hey, now
I saw him play Saturday.
I'm saying.
I saw him play. Just now, that's all I'm gonna say.
Sewing class, you know, his sewing class did the picks this week.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you guys something. Bird, you and Radar, y'all done switched up again. And let me tell you something. Last week, Radar, you would have went 3-1 if you didn't change on the air, but you changed. So guess what? You stuck with what you had. You done changed again this week. Bird, you actually saved yourself because you went 0-4 and then you changed on the air and you ended up 1-3. So that was a good change by you. All right, let's go with Orangeman. Give us your pick, sir.
Look, I know the Bucks have Giannis and all. I mean, because that's about the only person I'm seeing doing something. So I'm going with the Nets. Even though they hurt up. I mean, Griffin's still there. They still got Durant. Did anybody ever check that kid out, Wallace, that comes off the bench?
No,
Okay, I think that's going to be a surprise for him.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going with the Nets, Hawks, Clips, and I'm going with the linemen.
Yeah, there you go. Boy, everybody picking the line except for Radar. He's always the contrary. What's your picks?
Yes, sir. I went with the Bucks, Embiid, Jazz, and of course the linemen. I mean, I didn't even need to research that. I mean, come on. Linemen, check mark. We don't get no recognition. So, yeah, that's automatic check mark.
Good. So, okay.
Hey, I went with the Bucks, Hawks, Jazz, and also went with the linemen. So it's a sweep except for Radar. All right, listen up, everybody. We up against the break, so we got to get out of here. shout out is for all the audience. Everybody, appreciate y'all tuning in every week. Appreciate y'all liking, sharing, subscribing. I also want to do one personal to my wife, beautiful wife, for putting up with me for 25 years. Thank you, baby. Love you.
All right. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right, bro.
Hey, that's it for the Queen.
Blessings.
For Bird. For Aggie P.
No weapon.
For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
For Orangeman.
God bless.
I'm your man, Big T, signing off for saying no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be.
All right. Yes.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for The Crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.